Oh my God.
Yeah.
Welcome everybody to HOs On Air. I'm your ho, Lucy. This is your host, Sarah. It is officially the week of St. Patrick's Day, and we decided to just completely ignore it and not be festive whatsoever.
There's no
And
festivities.
on top of things, it's raining right now. So,
Nice.
you know, a little bit of luck being drizzled upon the valley. If nothing else, it's nice saturation.
Ruining our
that
hair.
We definitely need. I know, ruining
Here's
hair.
to you, ho. Here's to the drizzle. Here's to St.
Cheers.
Patrick's Day.
I hope
Cheers,
everybody has
all
their
of our
drinks.
hosts. Is everyone ready? Do we have our cocktails? Here we go.
We need it.
Hose on air.
Have a few drinks.
Word.
Yeah. So
And in light of that, you know what I have for you?
I have no idea what you have for me.
Everyone should have these for the festivities.
Oh, dear Lord.
Here, look what I brought for
It
you.
ain't Mardi Gras. Mardi Gras already
It
happened.
has a green beer cup with a shamrock, so that distinguishes it.
Fill me up.
You know, I've never tried that. I guess that is kind of what it's for.
Okay.
All right. Everyone is welcome to participate in St. Patty's Day festivities. Go get your antenna, whatever shit that you have.
Yeah.
Yeah. What shall we talk about today, Ho? I don't even know where to start.
You don't? That's a first.
You know, it's there's so many things going around. But I think I'll start with the topic of, have you ever been insulted, but you didn't know? You didn't know that you were being insulted, and you didn't figure it out until way later? Does that ever happen to you?
No.
No. Oh, you know right now. I think it just happened to me right now. Oh my God. I think I'm catching on. I think you just did it. Wow. All right, whatever. But my own mom did this to me, and I would like to share the story with all of the stupidity, because it is stupid. So my mom had met some friends, and they were seeing a golf course. And my mom is not experienced with golf courses, and she was just in the car with these other gentlemen that she knew, and the one of them was saying, you know, it's a shame that you have to see the course today, he said, because this isn't for what we paid to be here. This is not a good golf course. You know, they haven't even groomed the whatever the groomings are, and I don't even know what the proper verbiage is. But, you know, she didn't know the difference. And he wasn't done yet. And he announces to the whole golf cart, and he just says, can I just bitch for a moment? Okay? And then he proceeds to turn around and list more reasons why the golf course was completely inappropriate for what it was charging. So then my mom says to him, you know who I think you'd have really good conversations with? My daughter. That is what she said. After he had said, can I just bitch for a moment?
Oh. And
Is
you
that-
didn't. But that's not really an insult. That's
It kind of is. Now, I didn't have a problem with it, but basically what she's saying is, if you're going to have a grievance and start bitching about something, you should talk to my girl.
Oh, well,
Do you see that?
maybe it was her way of saying, I don't want to hear about it.
Oh, no, she wanted to hear about it. This guy had an accent. He's from South Africa, and every time he talks, we melt.
Oh, accents do it for you, huh?
That one did.
I don't so much, no, I actually get a tickle out of people attempting to insult me, because, you know, I've been insulted in 90,000 different ways, and at this point just immune and used to it. So it's amusing to me to see, oh my God, it's my mother.
Do they try? Oh, oh my God, Lucy's mom. Hi, what is she saying?
Ahoy, mommy.
Oh, that's adorable. Where's my mom?
I don't know.
No. She should have things to say.
What was I saying? Now I'm completely
we're
distracted.
talking about the I wanted to hear about how you have been insulted.
Oh yeah,
It sounded
so
like you had
so
some.
people send me what they think are insulting emails, or they insult me personally, or they'll say something to me, and I just find it amusing, because I'm like, really, that's the best you got? That's all you got?
It is. It's all. I don't ever have anything.
you
know, I don't even try. But I did.
I know it's their best effort, which amuses me, because they think that they're coming at me.
They're in the zone
with like the best stuff there is. And
this is gonna slam
This is
her.
gonna just completely annoy and destroy her, and she's gonna be crying over this for days. And I'm like, oh yeah, okay.
Okay. I never think of anything, and I think of brilliant things to say. Wait, like years later. It's not even a week
Oh, it's always
later.
after
Yeah,
the fact.
sit there and
I
think of
do
the
have
thing.
those moments where it's not so much being insulted, it's being in a fight, or somebody saying something to you that later you're like, God damn it, why didn't I think of, like, I
You
should have
had
said
the
this,
zinger.
that. And you have all these great zingers to come back with, right?
This happens.
Everybody has this. You all have done this. You all have great zingers like an hour later, day later, 5 days later, but it's too late to say it. Like, the moment's passed.
You know, because for example, you see all these rings? Does everyone see my rings? Look at my rings, my rings, my rings. Does everybody see them? Are they in the right spot? Hello?
There we go.
Where are we supposed to be?
Right
looking?
there.
Okay. Hi. See my rings? And you know, I went low on the rings today because you can see that there's one finger.
Don't flip them off.
On each. There's one finger on each hand that I didn't put a ring on. And I was putting on all my rings and I was having a glorious time. And the person that I was with said to me, "Well, that's too many rings." And I said, "So more rings then?" More rings? And I looked for thumb rings, and then you could put more rings on here.
Yeah, you can do.
You know?
I can't do that, but I have friends who do like the first knuckle of the ring. They
Oh,
have
yeah.
the ring down
well,
here.
You can't really
and then
bend your fingers that way is the problem.
I don't know, man. I have my wedding ring.
Well, more rings. I mean, and why even say that? You know, I don't think that they meant to be insulting, but it's like, yeah, I'm wearing my rings. I'm not going to get on you about the shirt that you're wearing.
Yeah, well,
you know?
maybe you should have.
Well, you know what? I didn't have the energy because I needed to get on more rings. You know, and a lot of people think that they need to be. Now I'm on. Now I have issues.
Is this the airing of the grievances
Oh
now?
my God.
Okay.
So one day I'm on the phone. I'm on the phone with a friend, and it happened to be morning. And the person that I was with at the time was leaving the house, and off he goes. And then, you know, the day goes by, we do our stuff, and I happened to be on the phone with her again when he came home.
Yeah.
And to me, that's just fine. I mean, this is my life. I can be on the phone with who I want. And he's annoyed. And he says to me, "Isn't that who you were on the phone with when I left this morning? What do you have to say now? What is it that's so important?" And I said, "Well, now you just said that, and I have to tell her that you just said that. So now I'm going to be another
call
minute."
her back now.
Yeah. Well, no, I never even got off the phone. I was like, "Hold on, he's home." And then here's my thing. Why does he care? Why don't we let people just come home and have a minute? Everybody gets to have a minute where you, like, hey, you know, you don't ignore each other or anything, but that person can wind up what they're doing. They can go and take a load off for a minute. And then that brings, oh my God. You know, narcissist is a word that's really thrown around in social media, in the dating industry, pretty much everywhere.
Yeah.
And
Especially nowadays.
Yeah. And I'm thinking it's overused because, you know, I think we talked about this before, you know, but I don't remember what you said. What would you feel that the definition is between a full-on narcissist and just a selfish prick?
Oh, well, hi, Krista. Thanks for watching.
Oh, yes. Hi, Krista.
Before I answer that, I want to hear your come from because...
Okay.
And the only reason I say that is because I'm ESL, right? So my definitions are a little bit different.
Yeah. Well, and that's why.
Yeah.
That's
so
why
I
we're
want to hear
different.
your come from first.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I think being a narcissist is when you go over some sort of an edge. Because there is a fine line between just being a selfish prick and a full-on narcissist. I think, in general, the selfish prick knows that he's a selfish prick, and a narcissist actually thinks and believes that everyone should be all about making their experience what they expect it to be.
Okay.
You know? That's the best way I can think of it off the top of my head. And they don't really honestly see, hey, wait, this person is also a person and has their point. Oh, no. That's totally over. Does anyone else have anything to say about that? Any comments?
Comments on that? I think that selfishness in general tends to be, in my personal experience, something that happens in the moment.
You don't think selfishness can be savored? Because I have some examples of that.
Well, I'm not saying it can't be savored. Raquel, one has a conscience and one is simply a douche. Yeah.
Don't disagree.
Don't disagree with that.
Yeah.
But my point being is that selfishness is usually surrounded around something one wants or a result they're looking to get. So for example, if you're is it a conversation or a gift or something you want from the store that you're buying for yourself when you should be shopping for somebody else. Right?
Oh,
That's a selfishness. That's a selfish act, because I don't believe that people are selfish 24 hours a day. I believe that it is triggered by something.
I don't know.
Whereas on the flip side of that, I believe a narcissist doesn't know they are selfish and do it automatically without the knowledge of being perceived as such.
I don't disagree. I don't just, but that reminds, okay, so would everybody feel this is narcissistic? I had somebody tell me once, his wife went and got him a sweater. I think it was for Christmas or something. And it doesn't really matter what it was for. The point is, it was the kind of sweater that she liked to see him in. He had told, his point was he felt she was a narcissist because he had told her, hey, I would like XYZ for Christmas. None of it included a sweater. Okay.
Yeah.
But it was a nice sweater, he said, but it still was not his choice. She wanted to see him in it, and he's the one who called her a narcissist.
I don't know if that qualifies.
I don't know either. I mean, she did buy it for him, but she wanted to. I don't know. I wouldn't buy anything I wouldn't want to see someone else in either.
I know she was getting pleasure out of it. I understand that, but it's not like a man buying his woman lingerie and then saying, "I'm not going to have sex with you until you wear it."
Do people do that?
Yeah.
Wow.
And that would be considered narcissistic. Like, I have to see you in the whole outfit, put you together in just the right way, how I envision you before I'm attracted.
Wow.
Wouldn't you call that narcissist?
I don't know. Maybe.
I mean, like 50 Shades of Grey. Wouldn't that be narcissistic?
In that way, I mean,
Okay.
maybe she needed a makeover. I don't. It's rare. It's rare the kind of guy that can do that. But every now and then. And speaking of guys, you know, it's come to my attention recently that something that is out there on the social media platform quite a bit is, what do women have to bring to the table?
Oh, like in a relationship.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Well,
that's
what
the way
do
it was
guys have?
presented. Well, in this person's, you know, when he put forth the idea to discuss it, he was saying that men in this scenario only, let's assume that they go to work. Let's
Okay.
assume that the old-fashioned caveman scenario, and it's a modern day thing. You know, we know what women brought to the table a few years ago. This is not, oh, we take care of the kids in home. You know, this is more of a modern conversation about what do couples of different ages expect out of each other and have.
Well, I think it's a valid question because the social roles have been completely skewed in the last 10 years, in my opinion. Like,
absolutely.
it used to be when I was growing up, you know, the male of the family was the caregiver and went to work and provided the money, and the female of, so don't judge me, people, I'm from Europe.
Oh, dear.
The females, you know, stay home, they cook, they raise the kids, and they support their husbands and whatever it is. It's that 50s mentality. There obviously have been some enhancements. Women do work, but I think the social roles of what each person expects to contribute to the relationship was kind of still very similar. And in the last 10 years, that has completely shifted, where, you know, men have taken on female roles, females have taken on male roles, and it's great, don't get me wrong, but I think as individuals, you now don't really know what you're supposed to bring to the table. Like, as a man, do you men actually feel like you know, black and white, this is what I bring and this is what women want from me? Or is it a case-by-case basis? Is it based on the relationship that you're in and that individual and what they want from you? So it's not a social role anymore. It is now a relationship role.
Agreed. But I feel that what you put out there in a social role should be who you are in a relationship too, so that nobody gets fooled, because this is a common thing in relationships where people think that they're getting...
You do stuff during the dating, and then you get married, or it becomes permanent.
It's true. I have this really good friend, and you know, this was a younger girl's game. You know, in your 20s, you have the energy to fake shit. You know?
I never had that energy.
No, but you know, I've heard about it. I don't have. It's not so much. I just don't have the I don't have the bandwidth. It's not so much a physical energy, but the point is that, she's pretending like, for example, she likes bike riding. Oh, I'll go bike riding. She didn't know that she wouldn't like it, but it turned out she didn't. And then the guy she's with thinks, oh, I'm getting someone, we can do this together. And, that's true. You can't be faking shit. So therefore, whatever you're doing out there socially, I just feel that should be who you actually are. So
I don't disagree. I think in that scenario too, it's a question of being worn out in the activity. So like I enjoy fishing, but if I was dragged out to go fishing every weekend, I would learn to hate it very quickly.
Oh, absolutely. We must participate in these things, at our leisure.
Yeah, but you know me. I'm an outdoorsy person. I love camping. I love
She
doing
likes
all
to
that.
camp.
Do that every weekend? I don't know. Might get old.
Okay.
So, but if my partner's into doing it every weekend, that could pose a problem. But I should know that going in.
Well, and that's the thing. Know who you are going in. And, the person who presented the idea of this topic was saying he knew what he has going in.
Yeah.
He goes to work. He works hard. He is still, in that. And that's fine.
Yeah.
That's what he has to offer. I think that a lot of people don't actually know what they have to offer and don't know what they are wanting from another person. This is why I feel a lot of stuff just goes shit, because you go in and you're like, I have this, and the other person's like, oh, that's okay, I like all that, but they don't know it's going to drive them crazy later because they haven't defined for themselves what sucks for them. Now, it might not suck for another person.
But how would they know if they didn't experience it?
Well, this is just it. I feel that by the in your 20s, I don't suppose that you would.
You wouldn't.
But after a couple of I'm talking about people well into their 40s here.
Okay.
That are still.
Well, I would love, we're going to continue this conversation, but I would love to hear from people out there.
Absolutely.
So if you are just listening to this vodcast, do feel free to call us. The number is 855-502-4321, 855-502-4321, and let us know your thoughts on the matter. Contribute to anything, really. It's fine. But yeah, I think that in this situation, also, the longer you are with somebody, those roles shift. Like I was very clear going into my relationship, like I'm old school. I expect you to go to work and make the money, and I expect to, handle shit at the house. And that shifted very quickly because I took over the business essentially. So I'm now wearing the pants, so to speak. And I'm more of a crafter at home. I don't enjoy washing dishes and cleaning the house.
Fair enough.
Not that my husband enjoys that aspect. He doesn't. But he handles, the financials for me to be able to have that taken care of. Whereas, I'm more, he always says I'm more Bob Vila and he's Martha Stewart. He loves cooking all of a sudden, which he never cooked when we were dating. He didn't know how. Or just didn't. I don't know if he didn't know how, but
he was hiding it. He was holding out.
He knew how to cook certain
People hold
things.
out.
But so he's now the main guy in the kitchen, whereas I loved to cook at that point in time, and now I've retracted from that. So we've kind of flipped.
Well, but see, here's the thing, and this brings up another valid thing, especially at the beginning of relationships. How long do you watch someone behave in a way that you don't like before you call it?
I think that's why there's relationships that end up in divorce, because people change. Whether you want to change or not is irrelevant. You're not going to spend 90 plus years of your life being the exact same person.
Well, I do not know. Some things don't change.
You can't tell me that you have not changed.
No, of course I can't. But some things don't change. And how are we to figure that out? It's the kind of thing where people see someone's true colors, and that's who they're always going to be, but they dismiss it. And they say, oh, well, I can get used to that, or like you just said that, or they will change. I can change them, or they will change, or maybe that won't bother me later.
Yeah.
I'm here to tell people I fancy myself somewhat of a dating coach. I've been out there. I've been in the trenches. I had a great time. I rocked it. The point is that there was a time where I didn't know how long to let people carry on with all of their carryings-ons. Now I know. You see that the first couple of times, that's what you're getting. Now, if you really like the person, you can ask them about it. But people tend to dismiss things. It drives me crazy. And I have people starting relationships, friends in my life, and they see something like that. I'm like, oh my God, people are showing you who they are. Please believe them. Now, it does warrant a conversation.
It does.
If you really like them, to ask about it. But this is how
I like Raquel's comment on this. She says
here.
too many people stay in a relationship they shouldn't be in because they're afraid to be alone. And that
Scarcity.
is very valid.
Absolutely. People that believe in scarcity. How many billions are on the planet? I don't even know. Lots. Come on.
Not scarcity. They're just afraid to be alone. So they're staying with their partner.
But if they thought...
for the sake of having a partner.
Yeah. And let's go deeper into that.
Oh my
if
God.
they thought that...
I need more champagne on that.
Please do. Chug a lug, okay? Because I'm saying that if they weren't afraid of scarcity, not just being alone, but if they knew that someone better for them was right around the corner, I think they'd be like, yeah, bye.
Yeah, if
I'm
they knew
scramming.
that,
Yeah, but they believe
they
in
don't.
scarcity. They...
Oh, right.
They
Okay, I understand what you're saying.
Why? Because it takes just as much energy to believe that things suck as it does to not. You know? I just feel that if people weren't afraid to really call it like they saw it.
Yeah.
And then scram once they had to see. That's the other thing. People scram too early without even giving somebody the opportunity.
There's also scramming because of two different reasons, right? You have the version of you're self-sufficient and you're going into a relationship self-sufficient. And so you are looking for qualities in a partner.
Some people are going into a relationship.
That's my point.
And yeah, we gotta designate
there
that
there are a good portion of people going into relationships for financial support. And then it's very difficult to step out of that if it's not working for you, because now you're financially liable. You can't get out of the house. You can't get out of the relationship because you can't support yourself.
Agreed. I know that is a thing, and,
Yeah.
and many people do stay. But what I'm trying to get to here is before it even gets to that point, like before you've married them, before you've moved in, before you make those choices, to actually identify what is going to suck for you, what you're
4
not,
dates.
Yeah, what you're not going for. You think 4 dates?
4.
4. You know what? I don't disagree. I think that is a perfect amount of time.
Because by date 5, if you're a respectable person, you're having sex.
I don't disagree with that. If you like them enough, listen up, people, and there you go. If people aren't snogging by date 5, a nice proper snog by date 5, you might have some attraction problems or some other. I don't even know what your problems would be by then, but yeah. But how would you feel about that? Ooh, so when I was out there in the trenches. Had a couple of dates with this guy. I think 2 was all it took. He was 45 minutes late. Mm-hmm. Now, total apologies, totally texting me from wherever he was at for the first one. And I was like, hey, no problem. I'm hanging out. We were at a casino, and it was a holiday weekend, so it was very crowded. Now, we were sitting on these couches. It's why I picked these places. I like a couch. I like to be comfortable. I like to sit back. You know what I like. I like to sit back and enjoy myself. Excuse me. Now, he twisted on the couch in such a way, I didn't know what was going on. Evidently, he had tweaked his back.
Oh.
He didn't want to tell me about this. And then we decide, to just kind of go walking through the casino and look at the holiday riffraff that was going on that weekend. And we're going through the casino. This guy is particularly tall. I'm thinking 6'3". He still has this kink in his back that he didn't tell me about. He puts his hands on the back of his hips, arches his back, and when someone who is that tall does deep lunges, very deep lunges, and the casino was totally crowded, and he's doing this in the middle of the crowd. I'm walking along next to him, and I see him doing this, and I'm like, is this happening? Is this what's happening right now? And he's like down and up and down and up. I think 4 to 5 lunges he did. I'm like, what you doing? What's going on here? Oh, I tweaked it. After 45 minutes, so what I'm trying to illustrate here is we're building up a tally. You show up 45 minutes late, you tweak your back. I understand you can't, that probably, that happens. But now we're out in the middle of a casino tweaking. Now, and doing lunges. And people are like, what? They're looking around like, what's going on here? I don't even know. I just met him, okay? No, and then that's not all. So then we're out at the parking lot. Here's the funny part about women dating someone new, and you're with your date, and you're thinking they're going to walk you to your car. How do you know they're not going to kill you?
Oh, yeah, there's that.
Now, this was on my turf. I felt comfortable there. There were a lot of lighting, and I wasn't worried about that. That still didn't protect me from this. I'll do a kiss goodbye on the first date. Why not? Let's see what else could go wrong, right? He was a nice guy. He was, but he came at me like a spider. And it was like he had more than 2 arms. And then there was just all this.
Oh, God.
Oh my God. I almost touched the tip. Sloppy action. Sloppy action, people. And he was in his 40s. You know what I don't have time for? Can I just bitch for a minute? It's my turn. I don't have time to reteach people in their 40s what they should have learned decades ago. And this is what most women who have their shit together would agree with. Anyone want to back me up on this? Please, God, please.
Raquel, what do you have to say to that?
Oh my God. Anyone? Where's my mother? I tell you what, I'm about ready to tell a story about her.
Oh my God.
So it's the kind of thing that now we have 3 things on the tally. You got your 45 minutes late. You got your lunges.
Yeah.
Now you have coming at me like a spider. I think there was it was so sloppy, you guys.
Was he licking you like a dog?
No, it wasn't that bad, but it was bad.
Yeah.
It was bad. Now
I went on a date with a guy that thought he was the bomb.
I love stories like that. Oh, tell us.
I can't specify who he was because
there's
judgment.
We don't do that. We're not specifying.
But I went on one date with this dude, and he proceeded to try and kiss me, which consisted of not like, okay, guys, the first time you go and kiss a girl, like, make it normal, please. But he decided to just dive in straight into his fetish, which was licking my whole mouth up to my cheek and up my nostril. And I was like, and we're done. As you said earlier, Raquel, know your limitations and know your triggers and know when to walk away. And I walked away in that second.
You didn't think he could get in. You didn't think he could train.
I wasn't willing to stay there to find out. Yeah.
And this is what we're talking about. People, would anyone else like to share what they weren't willing to say?
Because I clearly look like the type of girl that you would do that to.
Oh, yeah.
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 I'm just going to lick her like a dog and she's going to love me. Now, don't get me wrong. I do love dogs. But that doesn't mean I want to be licked by a man that way.
But you know what this one did? This one.
Spider.
The spider guy. This is why it seemed like he had more than 2 arms. He got my hair and he took it and he pulled it
yanked it back?
He pulled it all back into a ponytail to clear the canvas, evidently, for all of the sloppery.
Oh my God, he licked your face?
He didn't lick my face, but he pulled all of my hair away as if he needed a way to lick it. And then it was just really sloppy all up.
He was a saliva guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't good. It wasn't good. So now, okay, my point what was happening? Yeah, exactly.
Yes, Raquel, run.
And I did. And then he calls me and I told him, I said, I feel like we're in different stages of life. Oh God, cow kisses, exactly. Calyx. Calyx, they're called. The calyx. And he wasn't aware that he was blowing it. And so
that's the best when they don't know they're blowing. They think they're in their element because they're the shit. Well, excuse the French, Marsha, but that's happening.
I don't think he thought that. I just think that
Why else would you be doing that?
I think that he thought that he was being romantical. I think that he thought that he was
bringing his A game.
Yeah. For him,
that's what I'm saying.
1 minute. Yeah, which is the problem. So then he calls my ass, right? And I'm like, I don't even know what to say. And what I ended up saying was, I think that we're just in 2 different stages in life. Meaning I'm at the stage where I can't deal with this, and you're at a stage where, but no, this is embarrassing, people. This is another purpose for this show. And I'm going to demonstrate how it's done. Here, I'll show you. I did what I wouldn't advise now. And he said, well, let's meet next week. And I said, okay.
Of course you did.
I did, because I thought
Slobber knocker.
wow.
I haven't heard that term. That's fun,
Slobber
Rena.
knocker. Yeah.
A whole new meaning to slobber knocker.
I haven't
learned
heard
a
of
new
that.
word today. Thanks.
The slobber knockers.
The slobber knockers.
The slobber knockers. And then I decided that I would go again. So this is embarrassing. It's embarrassing that I did, but I was curious, people, is the only way I can defend myself. I just thought, I just got to see if this could happen twice. Well,
It did.
45 minutes late. Again. Again.
Do you know that there are people that legitimately can't be on time?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm one of them, but not
No, you're
40, not 45
No,
minutes.
I actually had a friend growing up that we would tell her, as a group, we would tell her that we were hanging out at 6 when really everybody was getting together at 7 because we knew she was going to be
Well,
an
sure.
hour late.
You have those
and
people.
to keep her on time and thinking that she thought she was late, but she just could not be on time. And there are those people. Sounds
Well,
like he's one
absolutely.
of them.
Well, maybe
You should have told him the date was at 6
maybe I
and
should.
then showed up at 7.
I wasn't thinking that far ahead. I was observing the people. So he shows up 45 minutes late again, apologizes. He was totally apologetic, but you're twice. I'm like, mm-hmm. Then we go and have dinner, and he's sitting opposite, in the booth, and I'm like, okay, that's fine. He comes over to my side, and now I have to use your mic. Where's the tip? And he says, I'm sorry that I'm not being as affectionate.
Oh, dear.
And he comes over here and he's groping. And I'm like, oh my God, now it's happening in the booth. Now I have a spider in the booth. What's wrong? What do you mean? Oh my God, our producer.
No, Aaron.
Love you, Aaron. You're a sickie. He's a sickie. To Aaron. Anywho, it was the kind of thing where now it's happening in a booth where everyone else is watching. It was inappropriate on so many levels. A, we were not knowing each other long enough for that. B,
And I'm just going to disclaimer this for everybody watching. This does not mean that you can't, behave this way once you get to know somebody,
That's
because
correct.
we all have a freaky side, and there's nothing better than accepting the freaky side. But I will enhance your story, and I'm going to let you finish it. But my husband lost my phone number 4 times, and I still gave him a 5th try.
Wow, that's a good point, and I knew
Yeah.
that story. Yeah.
So
what's the matter with you?
I don't know. I
Ew.
really don't.
Standards loose.
He was freaking cute.
He is.
I was a groupie.
All right.
Groupies, girls.
No,
it works.
I wasn't. See, and that's what makes my story even more embarrassing. I wasn't even a groupie. There wasn't any groupieizing about this. I was just curious, and that's why, by the way, in case you ever wondered, Luce, that's why
I so wonder.
I know you do. I know this keeps you
can't-
up at night.
It does.
I know that you
1
wake
a.m.
up
every morning.
You wake
I'm up going,
and you
"God,
ask yourself, why does Sarah fancy
why does
herself
Sarah fancy herself
a
this
dating
way?
coach or a dating person? And I'm about to tell you what's happening. Oh, a lid for every pod.
Yes, someone out there does like this.
I suppose. No, and it's not that you're not wrong. It's not that I wouldn't have liked what's happening.
My mother likes my sweater.
Yay! Does she like your
Děkuji,
hair?
mami. Jo, Sarah mi udělala vlasy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. So
My
at least-
Czech friends.
At
Wait
least
a minute.
your mother's
it's
attending.
What time is it in the
where's
Czech
my-
Republic right
Where's
now?
my mother? I have a
She's
mom.
in the Czech Republic. What time is it there right now? Mami, kolik je hodin tam? She doesn't know.
She doesn't know what time it is.
I don't know. She's not responding yet.
Fair
What
enough.
was that last comment, Aaron? I missed that.
I missed everything. I always do. It was,
Oh, it's Raquel.
Raquel.
People who think their time is more valuable than others, nothing starts until they get there. That is
Or
true.
There is that.
That is very
or
true.
there's just the clueless. 45 minutes late every time. So
Don't you love the people that are 45 minutes late, like to a party or an event where other people are at, and then they're annoyed that things have started without them? I get that.
that sounds kind of narcissistic.
Right? A little
There,
bit.
there,
yeah,
you're waiting for everyone to, everyone, like the whole party
like
to
you
start.
show up and you're like, oh my God, you guys already started this? Well, yeah, you're an hour late.
But I wasn't here. Oh my God. So then we start the date 45 minutes late, the second one that I'm
Yep.
embarrassed to admit about. And then he comes over on my side of the booth again. There are signals, people. There are signals that you want to receive. There was none of that. He was just right over there, glong, and then.
Well, when you say spider, I imagine the legs going around you too. Like it's
my
like
God.
The whole thing.
Oh my, and the hair and the oh my God, he was all. And then on this particular date, we were out there again in the parking lot. I'm like, okay, let's see if he can do any better. So I'm doing research, people. I consider this research to know what I'm talking about. Same thing, still. And I'm like, okay, maybe he'll feel the vibes.
Were you a hairdresser at that time?
I had been a hairdresser my whole life.
Okay.
What does that have to do with it?
No, I'm just like, as a hairdresser, would it annoy you for a guy to like mess with your hair, to kiss you? Like, I just want to know, because you spent all that time. Like, clearly you know what you're doing, and then he's there messing it all up so he can get to you.
Thank you for noticing that.
Yeah.
Yes, it did annoy me. Not so much because I was a hairstylist, but because I'm a chick who did her hair. What's she saying? What's happening?
It's 11:34 p.m. her time, and
Wow.
she's tuning in instead of sleeping. She can't stop watching. Thanks, Ma.
Oh, thank you. Octopus, thank you, Raquel. Exactly. It's like you were there. It's like you were watching. All right. So all of this, let's count, people. So we have the first date. There was the 45 minutes late. There was the lunges. And then there was the octopus.
Lunges. That's
the
hilarious.
octopus. Everybody loves that. It's everybody's favorite story. Oh my, I wish I could demonstrate. And, I'm going to give our producer pictures. We're going to be discussing this next week. I have pictures of some of my experiences. Of course, we will black out faces. But
Will we though? Will we?
We will. We will.
They're
But
public profiles. I don't know.
No, this is my private stash.
Oh.
A private stash from someone out there doing the dating experience. But it is the kind of thing. Now we have 6 strikes because I did 2 dates, 2 times being 45 minutes late, 2 octopus spider issues, and 2 just completely inappropriate out in public, things, coming over to my side of the booth and everything. And I was like, okay, maybe he feels the vibes and this is over. Oh, no. He calls me. So then now I have to say, and everybody's been in this position too. No one wants to have to tell somebody, you suck for me.
Right.
You could be
was
perfect.
he under the impression that he was personally enjoying the discomfort he was causing you during these?
I don't think that he was aware of the discomfort that he was causing at all. So then I had to tell him that I thought we were just at different stages in our lives, meaning I'm at the stage where people just don't do that at all. And he wasn't. And it just created a lot of awkwardness. I felt that standards.
Are we boring you, Aaron?
Should have.
Oh, bless you then.
I felt that standards should have been upheld maybe at the beginning. But see, here's the thing, people. You have to figure out for yourself. If you're still curious and you got to see more about what this person has to offer, and if it's going to happen again, especially if you're easily amused like myself, go ahead and go on the second date. I didn't have anything else going on. Why not? Now, did I have a good time? No. But it was still something that I can talk about right now, and I can say for other people, what I saw was what I was going to get. And that's another thing. People are already, most of the time, trying to show you their best game.
That is true.
So if they're not showing up, if they're not already putting on, my mother called it Sunday manners. If they're not already putting on their Sunday, that's the most that they're ever going to care. Okay?
That is true. I have a question for
Please.
you, because decades ago when I was dating,
Lucy's 906 people. 906.
When I was in the dating world, when things were happening like that for me, I would let on by, like, if we were having dinner, you typically take a girl out to dinner, right? So it's always
That's what people do.
Kind of surrounded around dinner. I wouldn't let them pay for the check. I would pay for my half.
So you didn't feel obligated?
I wouldn't feel like I owed anything, right? And I later found out that guys found that offensive.
You never know who you're dealing with.
I did that to my husband when we were dating.
What did he do?
Not that I was indicating the date was over. I just simply said, I'm not, like, if we're going to date, I want to pay my half. And if things are going well and I feel like, because I did not want to be one of those girls, and I knew a lot of them, and I'm sorry, you know who you are. I know those girls that date for the sake of freebie dinners.
I've heard of that.
And give nothing in return. So the guy is like, okay, date's going well. I've paid for this $100 dinner. I've driven, she dressed up, and now I'm going to get something in return. And no, not only do you not get anything, you don't get a call back and you don't get a second date. Meanwhile, she's off, it's like one of those girls that has the lunch date and then has to end it early because she's got a dinner date with somebody else.
I've seen that too.
Right. So I never wanted to be one of those girls. And when I was dating, I would make it a point to pay for my half because I was like, this isn't disrespect to you. It's simply, there's no expectations on the table.
None.
I wanted to come and explore this. I'm going to pay for my half. It's not just my time, but my money. So I'm invested. And if I feel like this is going to go further, then we go on a second one. Yeah, I know, Aaron. I'm too independent.
But there's nothing wrong with that either, because unfortunately in society now, there are expectations. And you just sort of, it's sort of if you step up to pay, but you actually say, communication, people, just say something. Just say, hey, it's my standard to pay for what is
and
mine.
It was an announcement.
You're not trying to insult anyone. All of these things are so over talked about. I feel like people need to have it together by now for those particulars. It's more about, for me, what are the deal breakers, how you can acknowledge them in the beginning, know them for what they are in the beginning, and move on.
Yeah.
So that you don't waste your time being married for 50 years to the wrong person.
It's true.
And there you go.
And Aaron, I don't disagree with you. Men do enjoy taking care of women.
Absolutely. Good men.
In our generation.
Yeah. But
no, in our generation.
Yeah.
But like some of our viewers might differ in that opinion because
things are changing.
Again, we're going back to what we started talking about, which is social roles.
Things are changing. Very, very much so. I'm just here to say, as someone who's been...
I think the balance, Aaron, is that a man should take care of... There should be communication, like Sarah said, right? We're marriage counselors now.
You got to talk.
You got to talk and figure out what the other person, what your partner wants, and deliver that. Because I'm sure that she does things for you to take care of you in ways that you might be completely oblivious to. But it's important to her. See?
Yeah. Love languages. That's
languages.
That's
my husband and I have completely opposite love languages.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I was dating this guy once, and we're both physical touch people, and I'm like, yeah, all those other ones are stupid, and he goes, yeah. And that's when you have someone you can groove with for a bit.
Groove with for a bit.
You can't know for sure, but you can know a lot. And oh my God, what's happening? Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's the little things.
Coffee. I think that's great. Yeah. It is the little things.
When I get on my husband's nerves, he brings me a glass of wine and doesn't say anything. He's just like, here, babe.
So let's get back to the topic at hand. Luce, if you were out there,
oh God, no.
What would you? And somebody said to you, "Yo ho," because you be a hoe. That's a show. We be hoes. Yo ho, what do you bring to the table?
Oh my God.
What would you say about yourself right now?
David says nothing wrong with going Dutch on a date.
That is correct, David, and thank you. Absolutely. Yet women are afraid to put that out there. They don't want to insult the person that they're on the date with, because nobody knows anybody.
I'm sorry,
right?
I'm ESL. What does going Dutch mean?
You each pay for yourself.
Oh, thank you.
No. Yeah, you just each pay for yourself. So it's the kind of thing that women, everybody feels so communication constipated, because the woman
it's not okay to communicate. What are you talking about?
Well, no. I just got that. I'm halfway through the glass.
Are you halfway?
Yeah, that's all I've had to say. No, the point is though, the woman doesn't want to. You're on a first date. You don't know these people, right? You don't know each other. This is when a relationship is most fragile, because you can do things that freak the other person out. The woman doesn't want to insult the man by assuming that he can't take care of her as good men want to do. But then the man doesn't want to be taken advantage of and ask her to pay. You're already going into the whole situation communicationally constipated. Yes, Aaron, and thank you for asking. Yes, they do. All of the Dutch pay their own half. I guess that's why. You know what? Somebody needs to look that up.
Raquel, Aaron wants to know if you communicate.
Oh my God! Are we communicating right now?
I don't know.
Is anyone getting the? Do we have a point? I don't even know if there's a. Now I don't even remember.
The point of this show is to laugh
and to not have a point.
You know, but it's okay.
You know, would anyone else have liked the guy with lunges? Because I might still have his number, and if that doesn't bother people, I'm not above setting people up.
I've never had a man do lunges on my date, but I might actually find that amusing.
Oh my God!
I have had male friends who thought there was opportunity for dating again, lack of communication, because if he had been just upfront and said, hey, I have feelings for you, how do you feel about that, I would have been very clear. But instead, this particular person lied and said that they had a girlfriend, which they did, and that there was no attraction, and that we were going out as friends to go dancing and have a fun event.
He,
yeah.
As friends.
And I my instinct was like, no. And I was convinced otherwise. And I went, okay, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. And we went.
You were convinced it was more than friends?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is a friend, right? Or an acquaintance friend, whatever. So we had history, and I know in history past he had feelings for me. So it was a little
up in the air.
Yeah.
A little iffy.
And I didn't want to go there. I didn't want to go, hey, yeah, let's go hang out, and then have him assume there was more there than what was. And what ended up happening is exactly what I feared, which is we went out dancing, and he proceeded like we were drinking, and he proceeded to try to make out with me on the dance floor, which ended up with him having a black eye and me walking out.
You punched him?
Yeah.
Wow.
He had a girlfriend.
Wow.
He had a girlfriend, and B, like, I had no interest, and he knew it.
Wow.
And then still proceeded to do that. So guys, don't do that. Don't do that.
You can't change it.
Like, if you truly have friends, like
direction.
feelings for a friend or a best friend, the best thing to do is wait till you're both available, and then have an adult conversation. What's your worst date, Sarah? Aaron would like to know.
Oh my. Oh, so he does. The lunges guy wasn't even the worst. And this is the worst date, but not because it wasn't amusing. So I was on a website, and I was having a friend. She wasn't on the websites yet, but she was about to be newly single. So she was very interested in looking at my stuff. So she's scrolling through all the choices. You scroll. Yeah. You wouldn't know.
Swipe left.
You scroll. Yeah.
I only know because I wasn't in that era.
And she found one, and he was a Southern boy, and she was from the South. And she's like, oh my God, Sarah, you have to go out with this guy. He will be a total gentleman. I need to pick this for you. And I look at him, and I'm like, meh. And what was so great about it was he was only in town for the weekend. So he didn't even live here. Fine. I wasn't looking for the love of my life. I was just
playing in the field.
Yeah. I
fishing in the ocean.
You could call it that. I like to call it, thanks for asking. I like to call it having fun.
Oh.
I'm into that. I'm into that kind of thing.
Yeah, but be careful how that's phrased, because the girls that go on dates to get free dinners also find it having fun.
All right. Well, no, I didn't care about dinner. To my friend's credit, she was correct. This guy did insist on paying for everything.
Okay.
And I tried.
Southern boys.
I tried to pay.
Etiquette.
Now,
they go through etiquette, most of them.
Oh, etiquette classes,
school,
the etiquette ball.
And dance classes. Yeah.
Oh, God. And speaking of so then, he's from the South. He likes country dancing.
Of course he does.
And he noticed that there was an establishment near where we were because he had.
Did he buy you a hat?
You know, no, there was no time for a hat. And I wasn't expecting this evening. I'm wearing flip-flops. I should also mention this guy's wearing an eye patch, not because he's a pirate, but because he had had eye surgery the week before and the stitches were still healing. So wait until you hear the buffoonery. Now, very, very nice guy. And so in his profile pictures, here's another thing, people. Don't present yourself.
No, don't go on that topic. We're going to discuss that next time.
Okay, but
profile pictures on dating sites. That's another topic.
It's applicable to this particular date because you were asking why it's the worst date. Now, in his profile pictures, seems to have hair. I go to use the loo, and I see him from the back of the booth. There is no hair.
It's a comb over?
No, it was a comb over.
Okay.
I've never seen a comb over since my father. In the 1990s, I hadn't actually seen one. And I look at that, I'm like, am I going back to this table?
Okay,
yes.
Now wait. Just to reiterate, you were a hairstylist at the time.
Yeah.
And you didn't identify that this was a comb over from the front.
You know what? You can take a picture from any angle you want and make things look however you want.
Well, but I'm saying, weren't you physically on a date with this guy?
Yeah.
And you didn't notice until you saw the back of his head?
No. You know why?
Drinks.
You're not wrong, but I'm looking at him head on. I'm not.
You know what the best part about these dating stories is that I know you're drinking during all of this.
Well, how do you know that?
Because I know you.
What?
So you're drinking during all of this, and you still like conscious enough to go.
Okay, well, I
don't
saw it
kiss
when I
me
went
that way and get your octopus arms off of me.
I saw it. That wasn't the same guy. I saw it when I went to the loo, okay? And I'm like, am I going back to the table? I'm like, yeah, I am. This is happening. This is actually happening. This is happening.
So you went back to the table.
I went back to the table.
Did you rub his head for good luck?
I didn't. I'm just like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And then later on, you'll see why this is relevant to the story. So then he notices that the country dance place is next by. I am not expecting to go dancing. I'm wearing flip-flops. Have you ever tried to two-step in flip-flops?
Yes.
I don't recommend it. The flip-flop went flying off. Okay, we're on the day. He's picking me up. We're doing some shit. I don't even know what we were doing. And I could feel people's eyeballs blaring into me, staring at me like this woman's with this guy for his money. And I felt like the reason they were saying that was because of the comb over.
Flip-flops?
And well, I don't know about the flip-flops. But
Were you not cute?
I felt, huh?
Were you not cute at
Well,
this date?
I don't know. I was just, I do not know.
Why would people think that you're not worthy of this date?
I don't know which way it was going. I just felt laser eyeballs going into me, I felt judged. And it was from other women. And I don't know why.
Oh, well, that's normal.
But I was wearing flip-flops and I don't know, my usual shit. I don't know. The point is that I feel all this judgment. He's wearing his eye patch. We go back to our table after making complete assholes of ourselves on the dance floor. And these country dancers, they are get out of their way. They're there to two-step.
That's
and if
right.
you're there being a dipshit, get off the floor. But it wasn't my fault. I didn't know that I shouldn't have. This was his idea.
You lucked out because you know most of those country line dancers are carrying.
Anywho, so we go back to the table and we're talking. He had taken off the eye patch. This was a very brave move on his part because anything could have happened on the dance floor. But no, it didn't happen on the dance floor. We're at the table. I go to make a hand gesture. My hand somehow catches right under his eye. He immediately is like, oh my God, oh my God. I thought I popped all of his fucking stitches. I thought I popped all of his stitches. And I'm like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. I'm having, Garçon, ice. Somebody, anybody, ice. And they bring over ice and he's holding it on there. And like I said, he was from out of town. I'm like, you know what? Let's just get you to the airport, okay? We're going to go to the airport. We're just going to leave right now. So we go. And we're in my car because I'm taking him to the airport. I have friends asking me about this date later. How did you know he wasn't going to attack you? You took him to the airport? I'm like, yeah. I felt like this wasn't faked. I'm going to take him to the airport. And as I do, he's still in my car bitching about, oh my gosh, my eye. I couldn't have apologized enough times. Now, I'm not saying that I know how much pain he was in. I mean, that really sucked. Point is, I didn't mean to. And then I just lost it. And I was in too many tears to even take him to the airport. So I became one of those people that I would normally be like, oh my God, girl, keep your shit together. It was too much pressure. You know, I made an ass of myself on the dance floor with the comb over and then the flip-flops and then just being an ass on the dance floor and then hitting him in the eye. I feel, here's the moral of the story. Don't go on a date if you have an injury. How about that? Thoughts? Anyone? Just don't go. Don't do it. Wait until you can be out there as your best self. I took him to the airport. I checked on him the next day. I feel bad about it to this day.
Look, you went above and beyond.
You know, I did what I could. But now looking back, I mean, it is kind of hilarious. I mean, the ass I made of myself.
Did he at no point go check his eye in the mirror?
No, I never saw him go and
So he
look
wasn't
at it.
concerned about the result of you brushing his eye.
No.
He just decided to complain about all of it the whole time.
He wanted ice. And I didn't even fault him for complaining. I didn't because, I mean...
Yeah, but that's kind of shitty. Like, if he was truly in pain and there was a possibility of you doing damage, wouldn't the natural thing to do would be to go check it in the mirror?
That's what I would have done. Oh my God. I had somebody once, she was dating this guy. And every time he passed a mirror, and this was in her house, he passed by a mirror, he'd stop and then he would say, I am such a good looking man.
Oh my God.
That's what he said. And when she told me this, I had a field day. I'm like, what? I said, did you have fun with that? Did you ask him how good looking does he think he is? Oh, and this guy kept watches, a drawer full of watches in order. And then his sunglasses were in the drawer below. And they were all in a row, in order. And I'm looking, and yeah, 1, 2, 3. If that's who you're dating and you're not into that, scram, okay? Yeah. You're seeing what you're gonna get. He was much more into himself than he was ever.
You're getting a glimpse of what's coming.
Yeah.
That's what you're seeing.
You know, so back to what you bring to the table. That was the topic of this whole thing.
I scare people. I scare girls.
I'm scared of you right now. I'm scared of you in this moment. Just so you know.
I'm not easy. I have had the pleasure of, I think, dating a total of 2 or 3 guys total in my dating career that weren't scared of me.
And how did you know that? Did they tell you?
No, because they actually found, as an entrepreneur and a go-getter and a Jill of all trades, like I do a lot. And,
yes, you do.
And I don't necessarily need help on
stuff.
Anything. That's not to say I don't appreciate help and that I don't like a gentleman to come in and take over in certain situations. But it takes a very particular kind of man to not feel threatened by that.
Touché.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I just feel anything that I would have to say from my experience in dating, it is for the good women and the good men. Now, define good. I will. Good. Good.
Make it quick.
Good is when it's good for you, people. So look at what you're getting. Is it good for you?
It was good for me, Sarah.
You know what? It's good for me right now.
It was great for me.
It's the kind of thing people don't even know what's good for them, and they just think I can put up with that. And I said to my friend when she saw this guy, oh my God, I am such a good-looking man. How is that good for her?
I think that if you're in your 20s...
They weren't.
Look, if you're young, you go on as many dates as possible to figure out what it is that you don't like and what it is that you do like.
Sweet baby
But
Jesus.
if you're older, right, you gotta like be sure that you've identified that, and don't waste your time on people that are on the I don't like that list. And don't think you can change them. That's not a thing. That's not a thing.
Especially when you're older.
Don't confuse the difference between somebody changing a habit for you because they love you. They're never going to change their inner core self. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
And dating is an opportunity to see that. So I get that. Now this has become a lecture. I need more champagne because...
Please.
Yeah. And we're going to see you next week with some hilarity on dating profiles. Like, that's the thing.
I have pictures.
We're not going to critique as much, but there's pictures and things, and we want to hear input, so be sure to tune in 3 o'clock on Tuesday. Thanks for joining us, Hos On Air.
Hos On
Thanks,
Air.
Ho.
To you, y'all. Thank you,
Ho.
Ho. Word.